Nacho, and this is my first video regarding leadership. I've just published my first book, which is How Many Employees Does It Take to Change a Light Bulb? I know, a little punchy, but it's full of goodness. It's about how to really respect the intellect of your front line as a leader, by engaging your team in innovating the company, helping it run better, giving them opportunity for promotion. I mean, isn't that our job as leaders, is to bring people up? And really it's, it's a pay it forward shot for me on behalf of our son. He's a teenager right now, and I certainly hope that he can grow up and have the opportunity to lead and be led in greatness. So yes, I did make a tribute to him for this book, but honestly, it's for him and many others out there that I know sometimes don't have the training that they need, or the experiences that they need, or even the boss that they need. And so maybe this book is for those folks, so that they can maybe find a way to engage their employees. So, it's a pretty easy read. It's a pretty short read. It's not, 500 pages long. We're talking less than an inch thick here. So, I'll just give you an overview of what I'm planning to do in these videos, and that is basically walk through the book. I'll share with you the table of contents. I think is a good place to start. So I do give a preface, kind of a grounding of why I wrote the book and who it's for. And then I go into chapter 1, which is about how to create a groundswell. And some people have asked me what that term means, and it means from the ground up, creating a culture in your team that wants to do better, so that you're not the only one pushing. Number 2 is about transformational leadership, and it's how to bring out the best in your team. Chapter 3 is kind of a foundational element about committing to continuous improvement. Maybe you've heard of Six Sigma or Lean practices. For me, it's both of those things, and from a technical discipline, I have both experience in both. But it's more than that. It's wanting to constantly find better ways, even if it's a minuscule change. Sometimes it's transformational, but committing to continuous improvement in everything that you do. Chapter 4 is training and investing in it, and really realizing that it doesn't have to be a huge investment. A little can go a long way. Chapter 5 is about habits and how these habits can really lead to great results. And in fact, instilling those discipline mechanisms in your leadership habits makes you better, and certainly makes the team better. It helps you really be accountable and predictable, which we need to lead great teams. Number 6 is knowing what you want to go after. It's keeping your eye on the prize and setting out clear goals and a vision for where you want to be, so that you can track your progress and obviously achieve it. Chapter 7 is about harvesting innovation. I found, and it was one of my inspirations for even starting this journey, there are an endless supply of ideas on the front line. We just have to be willing to go listen and engage the team in bringing those solutions to bear. Not just the ideas, but the solutions that go along with those, and engaging them and involving them in that process. Chapter 8 is a way to get it done, and it's creating ambassadors. Ambassadors that you bring in from the front line, not a whole army, but just a handful And you really invest in training them and ingraining them and training others and delivering on some of the larger projects that the team will come up with. Chapter 9 is about coaching up. Yes, we do have to coach up. It's not always easy, but it's important. Down, of course, with our teams, and sideways. You know, our peer group is probably one of the strongest threads that we have as leaders, and that is part of the art of change acceleration, is getting those beside you to help you move the needle. Chapter 10 is leading virtually, or leading in a remote setting. And boy, is that really not the crux of everything that we're doing today. I'm here in my home office, and I have been for many years, actually, working virtually and in the office. Yes, I love working with people directly and in person, but you know, things like pandemics and others have caused us to really think about what needs to be done first, and then where second. So that's what chapter 10 is about. Chapter 11 is about recognizing, rewarding, and promoting your team, which we have to do. But it's more than just giving out trinkets. Or blue ribbons. It really is about what we need to recognize for and how. Chapter 12 is a little bit of a reflection. You know, as I think about some of my lessons learned, I wouldn't be here if I hadn't made mistakes and learned from them. And so I share, you know, in complete honesty, some of the things that I did that were not so great. Chapter 13 is a little bit of inspiration on how do you go forth, and realizing that deciding and doing are not the same thing. Of course, they're related. You can decide to do something, but unless you actually go do it, nothing's going to happen. So I kind of delve on that a little bit more. I put in some frequently asked questions, although I'd love to hear more about what's on your mind and what I can answer. And then I put in some templates, some things that some tools that I think could be helpful as you go forward in your journey to empower your team to really make transformational change. So that's what the episode is about. Episodes will be about is basically just walking through the book. So if you don't really like to read and you just want to get a few minutes on YouTube to hear what this is all about, and maybe get a few nuggets on what you could do to be a better leader and or team member, hey, this is a proven method. I know it works. I've done it in multiple different companies and locations. And you know, when MIT came in to write a case study about my work, and then Harvard picked it up and put it in their business strategy course, I thought, maybe